Welcome to the most overrated, underappreciated, most viewed, underviewed podcast of all time. Welcome to, that's right, the Prince of Fresh Air. This is your host, Mr. Charismatic Man of Entertainment, aka Mr. Tall Glass of Water, aka the sexy version of Chris Hemsworth. The list goes on. Now I'm here with my man Dimitri. How you been?
What up, man?
Now let's talk about Ice Cube for a second. And this is much deeper than Ice Cube. You know, one thing I really realized about this whole Ice Cube thing that's going on is it really shows the divide this country really has. Because yes, Ice Cube made a song called F the Police and speaking out against the police, blah blah blah. But this
So
is not
what?
the first time, huh?
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm in response to people who would bring that up. It's like, so what? Do you know how long ago that was?
Yeah. And yeah, he made that song, but he grown up. He's not in his 20s no more, and he has money, and he realized that things need to change. And this is not the first time Ice Cube came out publicly and addressed something, but this goes to show to you the divide between Democrats and Republicans. Ice Cube came out, P Diddy came out as well and attacked Ice Cube, but we'll get to him in a second too. Um, Ice Cube came out with a proposal. I can't remember the number, but it was in the millions to billions proposal for the black and minority communities. And he came out and he wanted to talk to the Republicans and the Democrats. He didn't come out and say, "Hey, Trump, we got to do business." He didn't say, "Hey, Pence, we got to do business." He reached out to both parties. Democrats said, "We'll talk after the election." The Republicans said, "We'll talk to you immediately." Now, people are going to conspire and say, "Oh, Trump need the votes and blah blah blah." Take your hate away from the man for a second. You have a black man who has millions of dollars who really don't need to give a crap, is taking the time out of his day to help us. And what is the first thing people do because Trump agreed to work with him? Call him a coon, call him a sellout, said he's not a real black man, he's a Trump supporter, and such and such and such. And that goes to show it to you, does Black Lives really matter? Because
No.
if Black Lives really mattered, black people wouldn't be attacking Ice Cube, a fellow black man, for trying to help you out from getting out of poverty and from all this nonsense that we're going through. Yet, you have a black man come out and try to help you. You call him a coon. And then when he sits back and laugh and ha 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 while you struggling, now you want to call out celebrities from not speaking out. And that's another thing I want to talk about too, because you have people like T.I. who will call out people like Candace Owens for, selling out to the white man. What is he doing for the community? Nothing. He goes out, embarrasses people, and does what? Goes back to his Hollywood mansion home. And I don't see him invoking change. I don't see him donating. I don't see him out here helping for the cause. You have somebody out here who's putting his life on the line, his career on the line for working with somebody that everybody hates, who before the election, before he became president, let's be honest, a lot of celebrities love Donald Trump. Let's get that clear. Everybody wanted a picture with him. Everybody watched his show. But ever since he became president, he's the most hated man in America.
Yeah.
Take that aside. I don't care if you're Democrat, Independent, or Republican. It doesn't matter. Conservative, liberal, it doesn't matter. As a black man in Ice Cube, support the man. What is the whole point of Black Lives Matter? To invoke change, right? So you
Yeah.
have a black man trying to invoke change, and you call him a coon and a sellout to the white man. And this is why I say you can invoke change if we don't change ourselves. Because
Never gonna happen.
because if this keeps happening, P Diddy came out. Oh, Ice Cube, why you selling out to Trump? What
He
are
said
you
that.
doing? Yeah, I P Diddy did. Oh,
Well, a
I'm
lot,
here
a
for
lot, a
black
lot of,
people.
a lot of people have a problem with Ice Cube, and a lot of their distaste or dislike for him, or disapproval for him, is misplaced. Because you got to understand something on a grand scale. And I was thinking about this when um, I was getting groceries. I was like, man, a lot of the issues with black people, it starts at home.
Yep.
There's no black unity. I didn't see black unity in my own family growing up. So what makes me think I'm going to expect black unity and black pride in a complete stranger that knows nothing about me?
Right.
doesn't exist because you, as well as myself, 9 times out of 10, if we were to get into it with somebody like a complete stranger, I'm pretty sure that person would probably be black before it'd be a white person.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm just being completely honest with you.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Like I'm be just as leery, if not more so, around a black person than I would a white person. That's a fact. So that's why I've been saying since June, May that call it something else. Stop calling it Black Lives Matter because it's not a movement that was started by black people. It's not funded by a black person. It's just what it is. And like I've been saying, it's not to say that there's not aspects of it that aren't genuine because I'm pretty sure it's not all rotten apples.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not going anywhere. So then here you got Ice Cube, who's calling it contract with Black America, and then y'all got a problem with that. I'm pretty sure if he was saying, "Oh, Black Lives Matter," yeah, and then all that amounted to a social media post, nobody would be saying anything about him because he got up off his ass and actually went out and had meetings with these people who are in charge. Y'all got a problem with them? That just goes to show the agenda, the general consensus. And my issue is, encourage free thought. And this is something that Ice Cube was saying. It was like, vote for who you think is best for you. He's not saying, oh, if you vote for Trump, you're an asshole or you're a bad person, or if you vote for Biden, you're bad. He didn't say that. When you have somebody that has a problem with your freedom of choice, that has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with that person.
Right.
If somebody's willing to attack you for making a choice based on what you think is best for you, what does that say about that person?
Right.
That, oh, I have a problem with that person thinking for themselves. Now, that's the general consensus of where everybody's at right now. Because I even saw on Facebook how somebody was like, I think it said, forgive me, but 30 or 70% of black men under the age of, I don't know, whatever,
probably 35
is pro-Trump, right? And then you got this older, black man, older black guy, I don't know him, but I'm just assuming that he's probably over 45, 50, whatever. And he's like, fucking dumbasses. And I just sat there and I'm like, this is what you think about young black men.
Yeah.
Fucking dumbasses, right? This is what I'm saying. I'm like, it's an absolute shit show. And it's been like that for a long. I don't know why people are acting like these whatever issues that we're complaining about happened when Donald Trump got in office, when it's been like that.
Yeah. COVID just opened the eyes to people.
Oh, because you know why? Because Donald Trump wasn't supposed to be there. Because he wasn't supposed to be the election. He's not related to the rest of them. He wasn't supposed to be there. Yeah. So then they're doing everything because mind you, been in office since 2016. I don't remember it being an absolute media like shitstorm until like the impeachment thing, but even then it wasn't like this bad until like this year.
Yeah,
his last year in office, it's like anti-Trump from all celebrities. Everybody's like, oh, he's the bad guy, blah 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 blah. I'm like, it's the system that's bad.
Right.
Feel this way about the system. When you feel this way about the system, then you'll get what Ice Cube is talking about. But when you keep on blaming it on one person, that doesn't get anywhere. Because what's going to happen when they get in office and then another black person gets shot?
Right.
Are you going to hate them too? Or are you going to start asking them the right questions right now? But the problem is they don't hear from, people. At least you got Ice Cube, who's got the not the notoriety, but he's got the fame and the platform to be able to speak to these people.
Right.
And he's speaking for us. But y'all got a problem with him?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, like there's just no hope. There's just no looking at each other as human beings. We don't look at each other as like, this is my fellow human being. We bleed the same. We were born the same. We have the same. We don't look at each other like that.
Right.
People look at each other like, first of all, we already separate ourselves from freaking skin color. Then you got political beliefs. Then you got freaking religion. Then you got how tall you are, how short you are, how big, how small. Then you got black people. We separate ourselves with skin color.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Freaking, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's an absolute shit show. And like I said, maybe one of our other podcasts, there was a rapture that was going to happen, it's probably going to happen around this time, because just of the fact, I'm not a religious person by any means, but I'm just saying, like, because it's just trash, and then it's getting worse. I used to ask myself when even I think it was I don't know, because it so many instances where a black person's gotten killed, and I asked myself, at what point is enough going to be enough? Because it's just continuously happening.
Right.
And they haven't said we have policies in place that are going to protect black people legally. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris didn't even say that. So why y'all championing them for? Until they do that, until they say that, I'm neither here nor there.
Yeah. Never forget, Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
You ain't black.
Just throwing,
and
just throwing that out there.
And what's funny, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris didn't even like each other like a year and a half ago.
Bro,
you can look it up that they were openly criticizing each other. You see what I'm saying? But people don't know that. People think they're best friends. Like Kamala Harris, she appeared on a versus battle.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I watched it. Yeah,
and I'm like, a versus battle. So then that just goes to show what she thinks about the demographic of black people, which is, oh, I'm just gonna show up on a versus battle, and then it's gonna make people think that I'm cool because I'm showing up on a freaking versus battle.
Well, let's be clear here. She's not black. She's Indian. That's what she said. So, I mean, look, I want to have a real talk about with the black community, because this is not about police brutality. This is let's get to the root of the problem. If you ever get a chance to watch Vice on YouTube, check out this video. It's called Black Conservatives versus Black Liberals. It was a very interesting video. And one of the things, first of all, I want to put this out there. Republicans and Democrats, it's a social construct. Let's be honest here. It's used to divide people.
Divide people. Yeah, like
that's all it is.
Instead of people worrying about a better system overall and just being focused on being progressive for a progressive system that's just continuously getting better, people are focused on, oh, you're left, you're right, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. It's not.
Yeah, but
divided states of America were not united by any means. They should change the name.
But let me. So I watched this video, and this was it was a very telling interview video about these two groups of black people, and it was about 30 minutes. And one of the things I took on was the fact that a lot of black people, including myself, was raised to be Democrats. We always been taught that being a Republican included racism and white supremacy. And I'm sure many people could attest to that. Yeah, and so what happened was, the conservatives was talking about how as they got older, and a lot of them were still in their 20s, but as they got older, they started seeing some of these things happening. You have people like Barack Obama, who's supposed to be the first black president for the people and didn't do nothing. And that really opened up their eyes to maybe there's something good on the other side. Maybe let's try to open up our minds and see what's going on the other side. And one of the things I took away from that was every single one of them, including a gay black man who was on a panel, has said that once they came out as conservative/Republican, the amount of hate they got was insane. Family members disowning them. The gay black man was called the F word, faggot. He was called a coon. So the black woman who's on the panel said people called her the white man's bedwench and the white man's slave and all this stuff. And that goes to show you the divide that we have in our hands in the black community. You see, whether you like Candace Owens or not, that is your prerogative. And I'm not here to sway people's opinions. I'm just here to open up your eyes, because people slander Candace Owens for stuff that she says for supporting Trump. And I talked to my roommate about this. When you ask people why they hate Trump or why they vote for Biden, they can't give an actual reason. They just say, oh, because he said this and he said that. And when you try to educate people on whether that's the truth or not, they call you racist. They call you a Trump supporter. They call you, a coon and, the white man's slave. And look, we have to do better. how can we change if we don't change? Like you said, you have a black man trying to do something good for the black community. And what's the first thing they did? They used their hate for Trump to call him out of his name. And then they get mad when no black celebrities ever speak out. Why should they speak out? Because you seen the abuse Ice Cube's getting? It's ridiculous. He's taking the time out of his day. He could be at home, memorizing lines for an upcoming movie. He's taking the time out of his day, sitting on millions. He's taking the time out of his day to come out and help people. And the first thing I do is call him coon and a sellout.
That just shows what happens when you go against the grain and how easily the media can just twist everything to make you look like something you're not. And I've noticed the difference, over the years. And really this year, honestly, I just haven't seen it just get this bad,
Right.
And I don't want to say I feel bad for Ice Cube because, mind you, he seems strong-willed enough to be able to hold his own and still continue. He's doing that, on our behalf. And then yet, like I said, you as a black person, you're more than likely to get it, flack or hatred or whatever, disdain and scorn from your own
people.
Because Dr. Umar Johnson, I like Dr. Umar Johnson. He went on Roland Martin's show, and this is a while ago. But I was just noticing how that whole panel of black.
Oh, yep, I know what you're talking about.
Tear this man down, and I was just sitting there like, be your own people. Like, we don't have to agree, but you don't have to tear me down because I don't agree with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just, man, because guys like him, Dr. Boyce Watkins, people don't like them, and I'm like, why? Because they go against the grain. They think outside the box. They don't go with what's spoon-fed to them. Y'all don't like them? All right. Like, you just can't be helped. There's no hope, honestly. Because, it's the only time that's ever going to happen is when there's a collective consciousness. And then whenever that decides to happen, it's too late.
And with that, the tall glass of water has been drunk. And I'm done rambling. How about you?
Hey, man, I'm just incredibly discouraged and disheartened, honestly, because, as much of a misanthrope I do care about, humanity on a decent enough level to be affected by that. And, when you feel like powerlessness is never a good feeling. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Absolutely, man. And, like I always say, when I always end it, if you have a different opinion, if you want to talk and have a honest conversation, you could send a voice message or through anchor.com/the Prince of Fresh Air, or reach out to me on Instagram at Mr. No Days Off Percy with a dot. And let me know, because, I got to call Chris Hemsworth, so I got to finish up. But, we have to have these conversations. We can't just shut each other down because someone agrees with us and lobby insults. America is the greatest country in this world. I don't plan on leaving. I don't plan on fleeing like some of these other celebrities claim to do every election year. I'm here to change. I'm here to stay. But I'm here to change how we operate, and I hope you do too. And Dimitri, you're not plugging your stuff. You can go to hell. And no, I'm kidding. You can find Dimitri on YouTube at Mr. DJ dash MDJ. And Instagram at Dimitri Duas.
Yep, Dues Jr. On Instagram. Yep,
on Instagram, and everybody know this charismatic voice. And like I always say, a helping hand is a better hand.